Hello, Divine Ones. Welcome. This is One Divine Light, and today the guides are going to be sharing a message they're calling Divine Light Codes. And in addition to this message, they're going to be bringing through an activation, a Divine Light Code activation. And in addition to this, they're going to be talking about what it means to be the light, to be yourself, to be authentic, and to have the courage to show up, and to be seen and be heard, and to see and hear each other and what this really means. So this is a pretty big message I feel today that they're bringing through. So I think we're just going to begin. Hunia isa shalo kiatorosu. They're rolling out the red carpet. Iniokoroso tekerasa for your divinity. Iokoroso to arrive. Ikorasa, they're showing me like a crown on the head. Iokoroso chia nataikarasa. Because indeed you have always been crowned. You have always been divine. You have always been uplifted, even though you may not feel uplifted. Iokoroso, but you have put on what we call Iokoroso, or some people would call like the meat suit, Iokoroso chikarasa, or the animal suit. And as such, you are having this experience of what it is like to be this soft animal, Iokoroso chianakarasa, in what you would call a hard world. Now, even though the world itself is not hard, you might have events or situations that seem challenging or difficult, and especially difficult to the soft suit, and the soft heart, and the emotions, and to the ego, the ego, which is very fragile indeed. This is the weakest link, so to speak. Io torokoroso is the ego. And now this isn't to talk bad about it, but we say that you believe, io koroso chikoroso, or humanity believes that it is by its own will, by its own power, by its own accolades, that it, io koroso, is very strong. However, we would say it is by these things, io koroso, which are indeed false and which are a like something that you have built, that you have built up, like a false structure that you have built, to know who you are. You see, you know who you are through your stories, through your beliefs, through the attachment to the things that have happened. It is not the things that have happened to you, what you would call to you, that create who you are. It is the story that you weave about it, the story that you retell about it, and your attachment to that story and your belief in you as the person that tells the story. And we're not saying that there isn't a place for stories, because there is, of course, a place for stories. We are telling you a story right now. Once upon a time, there was one tone, one sound, one frequency, one divinity, if you would. You could call it Christ light, you could call it divine light, but no words that you use will ever be accurate to explain what this is, because this is something that can be known, not known. You see, it is an experience to be had. It is something to be known beyond intellect. And even though we are talking about it now, that is not pivotal to this message. And while we are having, or in discussion, if you would, or speaking these words if you like, they are secondary to the vibration, to the tone that is being mirrored to you. You see, we are not giving you something, and we have said this a lot of times. We are not giving you something. We are showing you something, if you like. We are holding up the mirror, if you like, the mirror of truth, so that you might think of it like a remembering. You are remembering who you have always been, or more accurately, what you have always been. You are remembering this. However, even beyond this idea of you are remembering it, is when we say you are remembering it, it's like thinking about it like the ego, remembering what it is. And it's not like this. It is the truth of who you are, or what you are. You might call this spirit or soul, if you like to use these words. So this true essence, we would like to say, this true essence of who you are recognizes itself, and we might say has its own agenda, that is different yet the same. So there is one agenda, if you would like to call it this, and they're very pleased with this word, so they want to use it. There is one agenda, if you like, and this one agenda, and they're showing me like a whole bunch of beings sitting around a table. Now, when I'm saying the word beings, the beings that they're showing me are like light beings, angels, ETs, and like I want to call them wisdom holders. And it's all being supported by like orbs of light that are like frequency, that are like holding the message. This is what they're showing me. And all this comes together to deliver this message, which is not being delivered to the ego, to the personality structure, to the person you think is listening to this message. Actually, we are speaking beyond the person that you believe is listening to this message. We are speaking to us. We are speaking to one. We are speaking to the you, that is I. Can you please explain that? We are speaking to the you that is beyond you. We are speaking to the we. We are speaking to the all, which is who you actually are. You are this transcendent state. You are this transcendent being, if you would, who is taking this form to inform a field. You are informing a field of energy. You are informing a field we will call right now the manifest field. And this field, you are informing. And some of you have taken, in some shape, way, or form, all of you have taken, but some of you have taken this body, this manifestation, to uplift humanity. And indeed, all are doing it, but you're all doing it in what you would call your own time. There is a divine timing of things. You might look at the person that is on the streets. You might look at the person who is drinking the like addiction, like alcohol, or drugs, or anything, any type of addiction. They're saying them all to me now. And you might think that they are not lending to society. You might think about the person that is in jail, incarcerated, if you would, and you would say that they are not lending to the upliftment of society, and you would be incorrect, we are sorry to say, because all are. All things are. And this is really the overarching agenda, is the remembrance of who you are, and the reminder of who you are. Now, we would like to take this one step further than just this idea of you remembering who you are, because as we said, we were shining a mirror to you that shines to you the truth of who you are, or the truth of your existence, or the truth of all existence. And it is not so much that you are remembering it, it is the vibration. Can you explain this more to me? The vibration knows the vibration. You see, God knows God. God knows God in all things. Christ knows Christ in all things. Source knows source in all things. You see, we are speaking to the source. We are speaking to the Christ. We are speaking to the God within, and the God outside, and the God all around. And this is how you change your world. This is how your world will change. This is how things will change as you see the unraveling coming upon you, and before you, all things are unraveling now. And as you see it begin to unravel, and there is one big string that someone is going to pull, and as this string is pulled, it's going to unravel like a sweater, like a knit sweater, a big hole, and this big hole is going to wake you up. It is going to it's a crack in the sidewalk, if you would. It is an uneven foundation, if you like. And some of you are saying, well, we would not like at all. We want things to be much easier than this. And we would say, it is only the personality self that struggles. It is only the ego that struggles. There is a place, space, if you like, inside of you that and inside of all things, and that is all things, but we just want to use this analogy for a moment, inside of you that does not care. It does not care about the structures falling. There is not the caring that the ego has about the structures falling. Now, this is not a idea like you would say, well, I don't care. And so this is like a dismissive type of way of saying, well, I don't really care about that. And it's not like that. It's like it has no attachment. So when I say, I don't care, I am saying a more dismissive, like, well, I don't really care about that. And this part of you, so this part of all things that doesn't care, it means it doesn't have attachment to. It has a great love and a great reverence for all things. So it's not that it doesn't care, it's that it doesn't have attachment to. It doesn't have attachment to an outcome. It doesn't have attachment to the structures falling, you see, and this is your anchor. This is your anchor. This divine light is your anchor. This divine state of being is your anchor. Now, you can meditate and meditate using an anchor, and you could put an anchor in every room of your house, something that you would look at that anchors you within that room, so that when you went in that room, you saw that object and you were anchored into the present moment. And you could do this. This is one way of anchoring. And another way of anchoring would be to say that you have an anchor inside you, and you might utilize something like the breath as an anchor, or a mantra as an anchor. Now, you would think about utilizing these things in the terms of utilizing them inside of meditation, but today we are talking about a walking, living meditation, a walking, living state of being that you are all being called to. And this time is upon you now, and this message is of the utmost importance today and all days, because you will require an anchor, and it will not be able to be an external anchor, but you might begin by creating external anchors. But ultimately, we wish you to have the remembrance of the internal anchor, the anchor that is in all things. No matter what you see, it becomes your anchor. You understand? If you don't, that's okay. You don't have to. And that's what the vibration is for. We do not wish you to worry, because there is no need to worry. All things are unfolding exactly as they are meant to, exactly as they need to, for the highest good of humanity, for the highest good of all of us, really, we say. We are cheering you on because we are you. Now, as we said, there is the idea of the external anchor. There is the idea of an internal anchor. For example, mantra, or your breath, and these are great internal anchors, but there is also something else. And this something else is the part of you that has no attachment to the manifest world. It doesn't mean that you're not experiencing the manifest world. It means that you are not attached to it. And when you are no longer attached to the manifest world, then the wisdom of your divinity, itself, because there is just one divinity, there is just one light, there's just one tone, one sound that is manifest in multiple ways that you would call you, or you would call yours. So we will say your divinity, but please don't grasp at it, because you cannot hold it, because it does not belong to you. It belongs to everyone. You belong to each other, and we belong to each other. And there is no separation. And this doesn't mean that you hand over your life or your well-being or your will to another personality structure. It means that you open up to, or you surrender to, to the truth that has always been. And the surrender is not a surrender like waving a white flag. It is taking all that you are and have ever been and laying it upon a sacred altar, for it to be seen in the truth that it is. And that's what we do with you here, is we see you and we hear you in the truth that you have been, and we sing or play or bring a sound vibration that is heard by your divinity, which is our divinity, which is one divinity. And it is in this that you change your world, when you see each other in this way. When you sing this song that is sung without words, which is a vibrational state of being. When you bring this vibrational state of being into any space, place, you allow it to be heard, you allow it to be seen, you allow it to be known, and therefore you inform the field of its existence, of its divine existence. Your existence is this divinity. And as each of you wake up and do this, your field is being informed and will continue to be informed in this way, that this divinity is in all things. And the structures that have kept you separate will begin to dissolve. And they are dissolving now. And we have talked about in previous messages the children that are being born, what you would call being born, into existence now, or into this manifest form now. And in this way, these children hold a new vibration, and they come with a new, is it new? Original. They come with their original knowing of who and what they are, and they no longer subscribe to the things that you have subscribed to. The fear and the power of the structures in terms of political structures, in terms of some have more and some have less. All of this nonsense is the word that they're saying. And the ones that are coming now, and that are going to continue to come in decades to follow, will sow the seeds of transformation, will sow the seeds of truth and love. And some of you might say, well, I wish this to happen while I'm still here in this physical form. And they're saying, don't even be attached to this idea, like you want this to unfold now while it's in your physical form, because some of you have signed up for multiple lifetimes, and some of you are these children that are coming. Some of you are these children that are coming, and you are like getting your wings, so to speak, right now. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, so even though it may appear like dark times at times throughout your journey and throughout humanity's journey, even though this may look like this at the outside, it is like cleansing you in a way. It's breaking you free of the shackles of this. Sometimes you need the earth to shake. Sometimes you need it to quake. Sometimes you need this foundation to be rocked in order to rise, in order to see what was underneath, and to have a big belly laugh about all the things that you've subscribed to. You see, and they're holding up a newspaper now. Extra, read all about it. And they're showing me like a person from a long time ago, with a hat. It's a very old hat. Like a paper boy. A paper boy. Extra, read all about it. And then fast forward, you move into internet and getting all your messages You know, on like a everyday, like flipping, getting all your messages through this way, flipboard, getting all your messages in these ways, getting all your messages in, sorry, I'm just talking to them now, like on your, social medias and stuff, and everything is quick. And you think it's truth. You think what you're reading is the truth. You think what you're seeing is the truth. But it's not. The majority of this is lies. This is what they're saying. It's lies. It's lies. It's all lies. It's not bad though. We say lies and you think, oh, I'm being lied to. And we would say you're agreeing to lies. And you are feeding them with your own energy and your own light and your own source, you see? But the time is coming now where you will stop feeding the lies. And these children that are coming, they will not feed these lies. They will not be in agreement to these lies. And this isn't a protest. This is a knowing of a worth. And there's a difference. Now you need to protest for each other's worth and for each other to be treated fairly. And in coming years, you will know each other's worth. And this is an internal knowing of the inherent worth of all beings and all lives and all things. Because all things will know and do know their essence. And so I'm asking about this. So even a tree, a blade of grass, the tiniest insect, knows its essence the same way that you know your essence at an essence level. So the same way that you know yourself from an essence level, God knows God, Christ knows Christ, truth knows truth. This is not hard. But the ego makes it hard. And in this way, you, in some ways, refuse to know each other as what you truly are, and you wish to know each other as what you believe that each other is and what you wish to show up as. And so you want to be seen in a certain way, so you create a life and a lifestyle with your hair and your makeup and your ways of being, your accolades and such. And you say, this is the way I wish to be known, and this is the way I wish to be remembered. And now there is a higher level of accord that is being called, you see, where you know each other as the divine light that you are, and you treat each other this way. And this is not coming from the ego structure, the personality self. It is the divine knowing the divine in all things. And this is possible. As a matter of fact, it will happen. It will be so. It will be so. It will be so. And they're now screaming it with a crown. So it will be so. It will be so because it is done, because this is who you are and have always been. So when we shine this mirror to you, we shine it to the divinity of you. When we talk to you, yes, the personality structure may understand our words. The personality structure may dislike our words. Either way, we are not attached. Because the vibration is being seeded, it is being sown. And as the sweater unravels, you pull the thread. Anything you sow will be sowed with the new string, the string that runs through all of existence, the string that runs through your heart and our heart, which is one heartbeat. And there is a string, a thread that holds us together. And this will be the thing that does the sewing. The fabric of existence, or what you would call existence. Anything that is brought into existence or into existence on the manifest plane will be sewed through this thread, with this thread, as this thread, through this thread. You are this thread. This thread goes through you, and this thread is you. Alana Sori. Okay, they wish to bring an activation now, divine light activation. And then they're going to continue with the rest of their message. So this is going to be a divine light activation, which the divinity that is us and the divinity that is you will merge in a dance of love. So beautiful. And together we will weave the web, the grid. We will create it together. Are we doing grid work now? So we are going to do a grid. We are going to create a grid together. So I'm saying to them, I didn't know that we were doing this today. And they're telling me, well, we don't tell you everything ahead of time, because you will not necessarily know everything ahead of time. The events will unfold as they unfold. And this is okay, and this is just fine. And you will be fine. And this is our message, that no matter what comes, you are okay. You are always okay. When you move the personality structure out of the way and you step into your anchor, as we are asking her to do, so we will now bring these codes. So you may be stable through all things. So you, correction please, so you will remember your stability through all things, because you have only ever been this. But now it is the blending of the personality self, the ego self, in with the divine essence of who you are, so that you may withstand the times, you may withstand the cracks, the falls, in the structures, and fear not, because you will no longer subscribe to this news of the day. No more. Done. I don't know why they always say this. Adios. I'm not sure. Because we like it very much. So goodbye to what has never really truly existed here. But that's a different message. So if you say yes, then we say yes. And we bring this now, divine light codes, so that your divinity merges with ours, which is one. We have always only been one. So it's a divine homecoming or a divine remembrance, if you like. So use any words, insert them here as you please, that allows you to resonate with this. So there is a merger of energy now. So your energy, our energy has actually always been one. And we will merge together now in the remembrance of this. And in the remembrance of this, we become this is like a one light, one light, that has the power. When you merge with each other in this way, and you know each other in this way, you will have a tremendous power. And this is the power that we will have together now to create the grid. What's the grid for? It is for future generations. Kwantan chwaya tunkatashi iktwane shiwa waktine e waktainai kwo iktowai I kwana chiwo waktine ishi u atai kiono Niktu wiktori shikwanati, aiktwane ashini awa, e akwana se akwane she awa kiana kaya tro. They will arrive through the thread. Iokori shi anikanai sotori kirasai tarai kanasai. And they're showing me like souls, if you could imagine that. Iukorosai takarasa sliding down a thread. Iniaya korosota karasa takarasa like into form. Anasaya chikara into this like manifest plane. What it is that they're showing me is like a grid, and then this grid, it's like at the center point of it, all these like strings of the grid, or lines of the grid, start to like come in like a funnel like this, and these souls are like sliding in. It's so beautiful. On this, and we're going to create it now. We're going to create it now. Wutai she awaktai so ane atai ne she alana sai atai kane atai she alana swekte she ektene soktene merge. Ikoro so chiakarasa. If you say yes, then we say yes, and we merge energy together now. Iniaya koroso is in fact we have never been apart. Ikoroso, but we our truest essence, which we are, merges with the truest essence of which you are, and again, together we create a power source, power source of light, as we all come back to original state together now. See. And though we have never been apart, it is the ego that believes in the separation. And now we speak to the soul, soul to soul, heart to heart, love to love, heartbeat to heartbeat, through the thread in the heart. And we play the song that cannot be heard by the ears, but is heard by all things, and all things rejoice by hearing it. The smallest insect, the tallest tree, what you call me and what you call we, all of us here, the one sound, the one tone, the voice of what we are, the sound of what we are, the truth of what we are, the essence of what we are. We can hear it, and we can know it, and we can see it. We can see it in all manifest things. All manifest things are this one divine light. So if you wish to create the grid for future generations to come, and you say yes, the light and in your service, the light that is you, as you, in you, shines out from you, and meets the light that we are. We meet at the center point, which is the heart, the heart of all things, and the heart that is in all things. Do not try to conceptualize this. It is a feeling, and together we merge, and it is created and done. Create now. So anasaiki apokoto so iniatai shoki apata shoki anai toki anai shu. Turoko sokiti shiwanato roshi akata. Open the gates. Atayaneri shakate. Wa tanese tenea. Ekte rakchama pani shwaktai rasho rakto shi mekiala shai nasni praktishi so shiktai sai shiktai si shiktiso sai shi Anara shuktaine ataine kiata karatokote she anatashi ataso sikti shukte ene kia patashin akataisene atasha ala shaktini shaktori kiata kishananashi ane arasha taikene arashakto Ini kiotoro yekteneshe alatana so tekenesa krasa krasa kirisi 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 kutashiki apakadasai enisikata sikirisi kirisi kadata kirisi yashikara anasikuta shikabrata sikini atakurso kapatashi ala krasa krasa kuratikena katashikara tata kursora katata shikara tata so anasakarete tishkara tata kibrata sate shikara tata si enikarata kurata kashkara pakata sukurutiki apakatoki asasa wa sanikia torokotosa yaktosa Anasari shialane asaitene shokiana taso. Katasai shini kiara se tia shikarata kira sikira sakarata karasoti karasata karasata karasakarato. Some of you are builders of the grids. Iniaya torakarasete kira sakarata karasota karaso. You build and rebuild. Inia karasata karan strengthen and strengthen. Yukorosota karatate shinia karasata karata. There is a web. There is a grid. Yukorosota karasa. There is a otorokorasai karasa. What is this? Is there words for this? Yukorosota karasata korosota. There's a pulse that beats. It's a frequency in karasa that pulses or flows flows through all things. It flows through all things, and it is all things themselves. You are this one vibration, this one source. Niri shi anaya karasata karasa. You are a creator creating a creation. Right now, humanity has been creating from ego. This will change, and it is changing. As the divine itself is sung into form. The divine itself is sung into form. And you are the one that is doing the singing with voice and beyond voice. Singing God into form, singing Christ into form, singing Source into form, and informing the field with your with our truth, which is one truth. The divine light that is you, that is here as you, hears this message, hears this message that is beyond words. There is a frequency, this message is a frequency, and this frequency is being heard by you, the divinity that is you, and together we are seeding, shining, singing, the awareness of this existence inherent in all things, the existence of this divinity in all things. There has been a time upon this earth where man has thought that they could make changes, where man has thought that they were the changer of things. And man is not the changer of things. Divinity itself, is the manifester of all things, is the giver of all things, is the knower of all things. And it is in the surrendering of the ego, which isn't a process so much that, like you would think about the ego death, where there's a clinging and there's this. Sure, this could be like this, but it doesn't have to be. It can be beautiful indeed, where all things that you have done, all things that have been done, what you would call to you, we would say for you, but all things are laid at the glorious altar, to say these are all things, and may I know them beyond what I know them now. Now I know them as pain and hurt and concepts and beliefs that create separation, create me striving and reaching for things that I believe are outside of my grasp. They are painful things that have happened, things that I believe have happened to me, things that I've done to others that I might be ashamed about. All parts of self, what you would call light and shadow, all things are laid on this altar, to be seen, to be heard, and to be known for what they were believed to be, and what they actually are. So, for example, take the example of a person who is incarcerated, and you have shut them into a tiny room, as to say, you must pay for your sins, and I am the one that judges you for them. As to say, I will not see you in your truth, in your light. And there will come a time when this will change, and you may hear this message and you may say, well, I must, for my safety, for my well-being, for the well-being of others, lock people in a tiny cell. And we have said before, and we will say again, whatever you do to another person, you are doing it to yourself too. And you are locking yourself in a cell also. There is a prison that you are in also, as you hold another in that same prison. And it is in seeing, and this is not a bypassing or sugarcoating, it is the divine aspect of self, which is a state of being that knows itself as one with all things and the source of all things, that does the changing, that would never dream of starving another or hoarding for one's own self and not for another. Iniaya torokoroso, iniaya sayashi anaya karasa. And as this song is sung, as this vibration of truth, or this true essence, or this divine light is known by what you would call self and is seen in all things, aya torokoroso chiana karasa, as this is known, as seen and heard, and this is heard through divine ears. So this means outside of what you would call the five senses. You hear this in your heart. You see this through the eyes, through the portal of the heart. You see it through the portal of the heart. And you see all things through the portal of the heart. And when this happens, this song, which is a vibration, which is a state of being, starts to seed itself, be known, be heard, be known, be heard, be heard. You're always fighting to be heard. You're always fighting to be understood. You're fighting to be seen. But who's doing the fighting? It is the personality self. It is the structure. It is the ego that wishes this. And you all wish this. You just might not realize you all wish it in a different way. So instead you're fighting to be seen and heard within your collective agreement right now. and saying this to each other, like, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. Yes, and there is a deeper level that you are all longing for. And it is to be seen in your glory, in your beauty, in your divinity. To be seen in this way is the thing that does the change, is the thing that changes your world. When you see yourself in this way, you will see all beings in this way, all things in this way, all things in this way, including things like the fireplace, the camera, all of it. You'll see all of it in this way. All of it will be divinity in form. And in this case, you won't need to run and hide from anything. Because you know, you continue on. When things fall apart, when the animal body dies, that's the only thing that dies. The spirit never dies. This energy never dies. I'm just checking in to see. There's a lot, to see if they want to add more to this one message today. No, I don't think so. It's enough for one day. So they're saying to me, like energetically, and they're appreciating that, and they're appreciating you, the receiver of the message. Now we also thank you in another way, because yes, you could say that the divine aspect of yourself or self is the receiver of this message. Did I say that right? I didn't. There are two aspects of the receiver. Thank you. There are two aspects of the receiver. There is the personality self, which is hearing this message, analyzing this message, like judging, comparing, trying to understand. And there's a divinity that is you, there's a truth that is you, that doesn't have such requirements, which is merging. And in fact, it is always merged because it is always held together or held with this thread that runs through all of existence. But it has been covered over on this manifest plane. And you've all believed in separation, which has been born and thread through many things like religion, which has taken because I'm asking them, because this is a really big message about religion. And so I'm just seeing as I'm like literally like starting to sweat from the heat of the message, if they want to go on about this. We wish to say this. A snippet, if you would, about religion. This is not necessarily a bad thing, because there is wisdom weaved in there, but there is also a lot of falsehoods within it, telling you are separate then the creator of all things. You are the creator of all things, and you are creating all things, and all things are your creation. And as you are within this, there's an aspect of a creator in you. I'm trying to get like a deeper explanation of this. One source manifests. We've said lots of times, and it's never separate. You think, okay, because we have talked about the lava lamp, where you take the one blob takes a form. One of the things that we may not have said, is that there's a string that goes from this blob that takes a form to its original state. So I don't remember which message this lava lamp is in. I think you talked about it in the last message, maybe. I'll try to put a link for that here in where they talk about that. But there's one blob in the lava lamp that goes out and then comes back. Well, there's a string that is always attached. And you are never, not part of this. There is like a thread that holds you to this. So as you are in a manifest form and you come back, like your human body dies, or through meditation, you shed the ego. We'll say it like this today. Through deep meditation, you come and you merge back with Source, which is possible through a variety of ways. And you merge with Source, you know yourself as it. Here, creating, a creation. For what you would call your own personal the reason, but not the ego's personal reason, the divine reason, which the divine agenda has always been to know itself as divinity, regardless of how it is manifest or where it is manifest or what it has manifest as. Its goal, if you would say it like this, its agenda, if you like, neither of these words is accurate, but its purpose is to know itself and all things as itself as one. And now we are done. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you to the guides for this transmission today. I just want to check if there's anything else. And their deep love and reverence. Of course, always. Deep love and reverence, always. Thank you. Thank you, Anasai. Thank you, Anasia Tekarasan. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for sharing in this experience and this message today. And as always, we're sending you so much love. Thank you.